Papa Pepper. Direct sow or start seedlings.
Alright guys, Papa Pepper out in the garden once again, and today I'm just going to be talking about learning from experience and pretty much determining for yourselves what plants work better for you in your area as far as direct sowing to the soil outside, or to actually start the seedlings off inside and then transplant them to the garden. Now some of the things about direct sowing are going to be that you avoid transplanting. With avoiding transplanting, you're going to avoid any shock you could put on the plant, and in some ways that's going to be beneficial. Another thing with direct sowing is going to be that there's going to be less of a time investment and less of a effort investment and less of a resource investment, because if you're going to start off seedlings, you're going to need some sort of container to start the seedlings in, some sort of medium to be growing them in, and you're going to be investing in time potentially with heat pads, grow lamps, other things like that too. Now in my area, and probably for a lot of you, it's going to make sense to take certain things and start them indoors, but other things are going to be direct sown, and if you start to try to start off some seedlings with these plants, it's going to be much better for you just not to. One thing that I've learned is I'm out here by my Chinese noodle beans. These are red Chinese noodle beans behind me. They're growing over this trellis over my head, and they're a direct sow one for me. For some reason, I started some off in seedlings this year in little trays, and I transplanted them out here, and they had stunted growth to begin with over the ones that I just planted right next to them. So when I start off with a plant that's 8 inches long and I plant a seed next to it, the ones that I actually just planted did way better. So for me, there's going to be some plants like this year, like the Chinese red noodle beans, like cucumbers, like my gourds, and like the kiwanos, that I learned my lesson for the last time this year, and I'm not going to start them as seedlings ever again. Now there are others, like specifically peppers and tomatoes, that are going to be ones that we're definitely going to be using. There's a small pile of peppers right here that we're definitely going to be starting off as seedlings in the house. One reason is it extends the growing season, and rather than waiting until it's warm enough to direct sow out here, I can start them off way ahead of time in the house. And even up in Wisconsin, I used to start them sometimes in January, sometimes mid-February. I'd be planting my peppers, and then by the end of the season I would just have much larger plants than if I had direct sowed. And I think that's going to be common for those two plants specifically for a lot of people. So herbs are going to be another one of those ones that can vary based on where you're at with location. Here I've got some catnip, some pineapple sage, some yarrow, some lavender, some toothache plant. Now thankfully some of these are going to be perennials here, where since I've got my catnip and my yarrow hopefully established here, I won't have to worry about them again. Same thing with the lavender. They should be able to grow back every year, and I shouldn't have to worry about ever starting anymore. And if I do need to, hopefully when they go to seed and they're producing their flowers and their seeds, they'll just be reproducing after themselves in the same spot. So this is going to be kind of more of a perennial garden, herb garden, where year after year these guys just kind of keep coming back. As they were starting off this year for the first time, I put in some space holders like this large pineapple sage and some other ones, just to use as much as I could and maximize really my growing potential in the area. Like I said, you guys are going to have to experiment on your own, figure out what works well or best in your area. A lot of things like beans and corns and other things, it's going to be direct sow, and there's some, like I said, like peppers and tomatoes, that are going to be ones you're going to want to start as seedlings. I'm actually going to make a list this year and make sure that next spring I don't make any mistakes, because time as well is a valuable resource. You don't want to be wasting it out here in the garden or with your life. You're doing it, you're often gardening to make beneficial steps in your life, and if you're wasting time with it, that's not a benefit to anyone. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this encourages you guys, and like I said, figure it out in your area, but don't be afraid to make a list. Don't be afraid to keep it with your seeds, so when you come back next year to those seeding trays, that you got your list right there. Oh yeah, right, I'm going to direct sow this year. I'm not going to waste my time starting off as a seedling. All right, Papa out.
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com. and join the revolution. Papa out.